I've spoke about the puppy that goes around and learns to do these lefts and rights. Well, now the puppy that I've been working on has now got used to it and is ready to go on training. But now this other puppy, which is a little brother to the one that you've seen, he's not ready yet for training. You mustn't try pushing anything. You keep these puppies going when they're pleased to do it. And they like doing it, they like the job. But if you've been heavy-handed, or you, what I call heavy-handed, that's shaking the puppy and doing all the wrong things, that puppy is not going to like it. So therefore, you say, right over, that'll do, keep him fresh, keep him sweet, and take him back into the kennel, and let him go in there and stop there and think about it. But he'll be very pleased to come out the next day and try again. So with a puppy like that that's not ready, what I do is to take it out on the lead and walk around the sheep. Perhaps if you've got a few tame sheep, they are near, you can walk up behind them and you're just talking to your puppy and get him keen, and he starts wanting to do it. And also, he's tied up to his kennel outside, and he can watch the old Meg when she goes to collect him up for me and do a bit of driving and round close, not too far from the puppy, which he's taking a great interest. He wants to do it. And then you'll get a surprise one morning that you go out there and he's ready to go. And you've got the sheep in the pen, like you've done with the other bitch, and we start off afresh. So with the two little brother and sister, you've got two different types of puppies to work on. You'll find that the little bitch is going to be a little bit more forward, and she'll have to be given preference of the training because she's a little bit further ahead. But you mustn't lose patience with the other dog because he's slower, because he'll build up later on as he gets older. He'll build up and he'll catch her up, and they'll both be probably two good working dogs. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway, and the breeding of them, of course, is good. So you mustn't expect too much from a young age. Now, after all this with the puppies and so forth, there's a time come when you want to see what sort of reaction this puppy's going to do when he's let out amongst sheep on his own. Well, the same thing applies. You get those sheep around in a lump, and you can get out in the middle of a small field, and you get the old girl to help you with this. Now Meg, my old lady, she would go out, put the sheep up, bring them up to where I wanted to. I can lay her down and tell her to stay there, and then puppy is let loose by letting it slip through a piece of twine. It thinks it's been on the lead all the time, but you see, you've got them on a thin piece of cord, and just slip it through the collar, then see the reactions to the puppy. If it goes round, when it goes round, and it'll get round, doesn't matter, to 6 o'clock, as we call it, 12 o'clock, or anywhere. But if it's goading those sheep to you, and those sheep will follow you, one of the tricks that I've used on occasions is, if the sheep are pretty tame, you've only got to take a bag of food out with you and just put a little on the ground and walk backwards. They'll follow you, and of course the dog will follow on. Well, that's fine. You can walk right around the field doing that if it will allow. The pup is enjoying it, and the sheep don't mind. They're keeping tame and they get used to it. And this is a very good training hint, because after a while that puppy has learnt to follow the sheep nicely, and then he'll want to probably get fed up with the following. He wants to race around the other side. Well, if you've worked yourself over the side of a fence somewhere, you can walk along that fence and the sheep will follow you. This is all going on different days, and then the puppy behind, he wants to come round in front again. You can go and meet him, and you can go and meet him with a spray of twigs and that to send him back. And of course then the pressure begins to come on. When I say pressure, you've got to be a little more strict with your commands. It's not all the fuss every time he does everything there, but he's got to learn that he's got to do as he's told. And you send the puppy back behind those sheep again, and the sheep will be eating probably of a little bit that you've got left in the bag, or you drop the bag, the sheep will stay there, so they're not running away too far. But of course this is all gradual work, and you'll find it'll pay off in the long run if you've got the time and the patience to do that, we'll say for about 20 minutes at a time. The puppy will have learnt something, and you can do exactly the same thing next day or the day after. But don't overdo this. People go out there in the morning, afternoon, and again, at night. The puppy will get a little bit sick of that, so you're overdoing it. But I think that if you do it once, no more than twice, once in the morning and once in the afternoon or evening, if you have the time, and you'll find that'll be a routine. Rather than the same thing, then another time you start going back the other way, which you can give the other commands to as time goes on. You see the left and the rights are working from this as well. So you're doing 2 jobs. But this is a little bit confusing for the novice handler, and he would be well to sit and ponder on it, but they can learn a lot by practice. But have patience, don't get excited, and do it slowly and quietly.
Stay there. That'll do, Mick.
These sheep, I must tell you that actually they're lambs, are very quiet. They've been trough fed, and they're used to people, and they're used to dogs. So here you're seeing a little bit of quietness with the dog and the sheep. They're not terrified of a dog, as you can see. They walk, and that's what I'm just trying to get the dog to do. Walk. I walk backwards, and this is where we start our puppies. Once we've got them going to sheep, we let the puppy bring the sheep onto us, and you walk backwards, and it learns a lot from that it's always got to bring those sheep to the handler. Of course, us handlers have all got our own commands, but it's usually the same commands for the lefts and the rights. Come by and way to me. That's the right and the left. Well, if she's going round right, it's away to me. If it's coming round left, it's come by, like she is now. That's come by. Walk on.
They're there.
This youngster, she's been quite easy to train. She's not very old, but she started off, and of course it's bred into her. She's very well bred. The moment she saw sheep and saw livestock there, she was showing signs of wanting to work. So she was able to be taught rather early in life. Now this is a little bit where I teach the puppy to drive. Now I go just a little in front, walking up the fence, keeping that fence on the left, because if I want that bitch to come round to her right, which is the right hand of the picture now, she's got to come. But of course the natural instinct of that bitch is to go around the left and get round the other side of me. So she is the other side of the sheep and the other side of me. I'm a little bit in front to let her keep her eye on me. Just keep her walking up the side of that fence. Now she's only got the one side to keep them to. That's the idea of having a fence. And now normally when training there, you would let them go round quite a long way like that. Then when you get to the top end, you bring the bitch right round to the head of those sheep and go back again, so you can give her the command of the other side, which is the come by.